Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker, established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys in offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com. And by the Alliance Safety Council, delivering instructor-led on-site computer lab and online training through more than 100 authorized training providers in 31 states and 2 countries. Headquartered in Baton Rouge, Alliance is focused on the future of learning technology and training process innovation for business and industry, for safety and other corporate training needs. More information is at alliancesafetycouncil.org. And by Short & Associates, legal recruiters in Louisiana and Texas. And Orange Theory Fitness, delivering fitness results for a healthier world.
From Mansur's on the Boulevard in Baton Rouge, we're out to lunch with editor of the Baton Rouge Business Report, Stephanie Riegel. It's business, Baton Rouge style.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Riegel. Welcome to Out to Lunch. The Me Too movement may have quieted down for the moment, but new revelations continue to make national headlines from time to time, reminding us that women have not been treated equally by men in the workplace and have been exploited because of their gender. They've had to work that much harder and overcome that many more barriers to achieve success. Today we have 2 guests who are creating new opportunities for women in what has traditionally been a man's world. Joining me is Monique Scott Spaulding, owner of Jani King of Baton Rouge, the local franchise of the world's largest commercial cleaning company. Jani King has more than 120 support offices in 10 countries and a network of more than 9,000 franchisees who provide commercial cleaning services to a wide range of customer locations, including office buildings, hospitals, hotels, sporting venues, universities, restaurants, manufacturing facilities, and more. Monique started the Baton Rouge Jani King franchise in 1998. In the years since, she's grown the company to one of the top franchises in the region with dozens of clients, hundreds of employees, and multiple sales and franchisee of the year awards. The story of how Monique got started and the way she has parlayed her success into a platform for giving back to the community are extraordinary. And Monique, thanks for coming on the show today to share those stories with us.
Well, thank you for having me, Stephanie.
With me and Monique is Paula Shreve, co-founder of the Red Magnolia Theater Company, which is the first all-female theater group in Baton Rouge. Paula and her co-founder, Michelle Johnson, founded the theater company in August of 2017, originally under a different name, after growing tired of the lack of leading roles for local actresses. But Red Magnolia Theater Company doesn't just encourage women to star in productions, it provides an outlet for women in all aspects of theater production while serving the community with enriching and entertaining performances. By day, Paula is a legal assistant to an energy services company. She's also a professional singer, performing at weddings and cantering at local churches. Paula, it's a pleasure to have you here today with us on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Stephanie.
Thank you. Okay, well, Monique, I want to start with you because at just 25 years old, you faced one of the biggest challenges of your life when your mom died, and your 13-year-old sister came to live with you, and you had to support her, and you weren't earning enough money at the time to do that. So you said, I'm going to go into business as a Jani King franchisee?
So at that time, I had actually started a company for General Health Systems, a company that owns the Baton Rouge General Hospital. And I knew that I had maximized my earning capacity because obviously women in the workplace don't always earn as much as others. And I knew that there were other opportunities for me to explore. And because General Health Foundation believed in me, I chose to believe in myself and to secure an opportunity to start the Jani King franchise. Now, I will share with you that I am now in 2019 one of over 100 franchise owners here in Baton Rouge. I served as the largest franchise for more than 15 of the 21 years that I've been in business. But the flexibility in earning and the opportunity to creatively build a business and then to support employees and friends and women who were inspired by my story to start their own businesses has been phenomenal. And then also to give back to the community has been amazing as well.
What attracted you to the field of commercial cleaning?
So managing people, I knew that I can do that. The first company I started had over 600 employees in many different fields. We all supported medical services in some of the area, chemical plants, and supported nurses in schools and what have you. So managing people, I felt very confident about. The structure of the Jani King franchise is that they teach you how to clean. They teach you the opportunity to be able to support different kinds of accounts. So if it's healthcare cleaning, hospitality cleaning, educational services, if it's cleaning, multi facilities cleaning, that's helpful as well. And so whatever you choose to do, Jani King's franchise structure affords you that opportunity with incredible education and operation support and even self-support as well.
That's great. Now you said that the health company, General Health Systems, you had been with, has 600 employees, and you had worked with them. You didn't found that company.
So that came about. I was in college, and I was an assistant to the director of nursing, and one of my responsibilities was preparing the finance reports for her meeting with the director of nursing, the VP of nursing, and the CEO. And we continually looked at deficits, and the deficits were due to bringing in contract nurses from all over the world, from China, Australia, Canada, or what have you. We were spending multiple millions of dollars of doing that, and so the opportunity afforded itself to grow our own, so to speak, to build our own. And so we cultivated a group of nurses, males, females, all different capacities, to build an internal supplemental staffing agency. And so there were non-benefited employees. We expanded to nurse tech positions. We expanded to secretarial positions. We supported EBR school system prior to health centers and schools being formed. We supported the chemical plant industry with supplementing nurses and what have you. And so I did have the opportunity to build that for the system.
Gotcha. Okay, interesting. Well, Paula, so you are in the legal profession and decided to start a theater company for all women. How did this come about?
Well, Michelle Johnson and I both had performed with Theater Baton Rouge in Tony and Tina's wedding years before, and I was in a production of August Osage County. It was the first time I was in a play, not a musical. My background being in opera and musical theater, it was new to me, so I had been taking acting classes locally by some wonderful instructors that have been on television, and on stages such as Broadway and tours. So I was very excited about that production. It was at the Ascension Community Theater, and Michelle came to see the show, and right after the production, she ran up to me, congratulated me, and she basically asked me if I would be interested in joining her and just meeting with a bunch of other friends and acquaintances we'd met through theater to read some scripts, and because we wanted some more opportunities to hear women roles.
Yeah.
So over wine or drinks and appetizers at different friends' homes, we started meeting and reading scripts we were interested in that we hadn't read before. And then word got out and more friends reached out to us, and before we knew it, we were like, well, we should probably put on a production. So we founded the theater, and it was Pelagia Productions first, but we decided to change it to Red Magnolia Theater Company because, the red for the red stick, and the magnolia symbolizes a flower in the South that it embodies what women are, strong but soft, beautiful but commanding. So it just organically grew out of friendship, and we wanted it to be a company that focused on having joyous experiences together as friends.
So, and I mentioned this when I introduced you. I want to dive into it a little bit more. Are there not enough opportunities for women in theater in Baton Rouge and everywhere, or is it just here?
No, I would say that the Me Too movement came slowly after that. We actually started this before that really became the headlines nationally. Theater, there's not a lot, to my opinion. I moved here from Philadelphia before moving and becoming a resident of Baton Rouge. And there's there are theaters here, but there really aren't a lot. Schools, education in the arts, the private schools have that covered, but I wouldn't say it's across the board everywhere. It's not as an important, as math or other subjects. So we wanted to answer your question, no, there just aren't there's not enough theater. And then when you have an audition for a play that you're interested in, a lot of the plays out there have some roles for women, but they're not primarily all women. They're usually male-dominated roles, and it's not the fault of the theaters in our state or our city or nationally. It's just it's been this way. Men they are the ones who have been writing. They are the ones who have been producing. So that is a common theme. So women now are gaining their voices and deciding, we want to see these women. So we need to do something. And that's how we started the theater company, because we wanted to provide those opportunities for women. And not just our friends who are actors. We wanted to reach out to women business leaders and to people in the community who are interested in learning about acting or production. Any kind of production, whether it be sound editing, production design, lighting. There's all kinds of jobs within a theater company, not just the actors.
And Monique, with respect to Jani King, I'm sure there aren't a lot of women franchise owners, really.
Honestly, there really are.
Are there?
There's a huge percentage of female franchise owners. Most people tend to start the franchise to build their skills in communications and sales and operations. But once they see the whole scope of what Jani King has to offer, it's very empowering. And many women are meeting with CEOs on a daily basis to sell their own accounts, to build their business, to negotiate working in different fields. So if someone has only serviced office accounts, office cleaning, then they may branch into schools or they may branch into healthcare. And so it's very empowering, and there's more and more women coming to the table.
Well, that's good to know. So you're Jani King of Baton Rouge. You said there are many franchises here, and you're one of them, and the largest, or were the largest for a long time. Do they all have different names? Do you each have different specialties? I mean, do you have a territory or a license agreement that gives you a certain area, or do you compete against your other Jani King friends?
So all of us are independent business owners. We all tend to specialize in certain types of accounts. And so some people may focus on industrial accounts. Some people may focus on small office cleaning. Some people may focus on education. Education can look very differently, whether it's higher ed or K through 12, or whether it's early ed. And so there's a lot of different niche there that people tend to focus on. For me, education, K through 12, and healthcare and light industry has been the bread and butter of my business.
That's quite a lot of bread and butter. That's a broad,
It is.
Hospitals, schools, and light industrial.
But coming from the healthcare background, I worked 10 years in healthcare, so it was helpful. That was comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Broadening into education was a little daunting. There are a lot of people in schools, and so managing that was a little daunting, but it was very successful in that arena.
That's great.
So opportunities are there, and that's one of the best things about having a national brand supported in your local area.
Yeah, that is great. You're listening to Out to Lunch. I'm Stephanie Regal. I'm talking to Monique Scott Spaulding of Jani King of Baton Rouge and Paula Shreve of the Red Magnolia Theater Company. Well, Paula, speaking of opportunities, you have a full-time job. This is just a part-time thing. It's a passion for you. Do you have to work nights?
Yes and yes. So it is a passion of mine. I'm very excited about it, and it's really gained a lot of momentum. We've been very successful with the few events we've had. So I work full-time at an energy services firm here in Baton Rouge in the legal department, and I just did get my certification as a paralegal.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So LSU was wonderful with that. It was a great program. I recommend it for anyone interested. Basically, I leave my office and I go home, and we either talk over the phone about our initiatives. We've had meetings at local businesses like Brouhaha Coffee, which we've been working with a bit, and or various friends' homes. So on the weekends and in the evenings is when we do all the work, and we've all been learning. It's a crash course in running a business, a nonprofit, board organization, development and fundraising, learning about marketing. A lot of these we each individually have our own special skills for, but we're having to amp it up and learn a lot quickly.
And I want to talk about that, but tell me real quick before I forget. You all are, less than 2 years old now, really just about a year and a half old. So you're starting small. You do basically one big production a year and several smaller readings around town?
That's correct. So
Great.
we weren't sure how, at first we wanted to produce one show and just see how that went, how we felt about it. And like I said, we did really well. We had lots of people come in. It was very successful. We have actors who are constantly asking us, we have actors who are asking us, when will we have our next production? So we have to apply for rights, and the rights we are waiting on, we're looking at a November production. So we're looking to do one fully staged production a year at this time.
And
now,
do you know where you'll do it?
Well, we've looked at various venues. I can't really say where we're going to have it yet until we have the rights.
Yeah, just to know if y'all had a regular.
Right.
Theater,
So
yeah.
in order for us to keep involved, we want to keep involved with the community. So we did start a readers theater, and we will have about 4 to 5 readings a year at various locations where the actors will read the scripts. And it will be non-staged, but it'll work in conjunction with another hopefully woman-owned business. But like I said, we involve everyone, so we're not excluding anybody when we partner with people.
That's great. And you mentioned everything that goes into starting up a nonprofit arts organization, and I know how hard that is. And Monique, you've been involved with arts organizations in the community. I mean, can Baton Rouge support what it has? And do we need more? And what do we need to make what we have work better?
So I definitely think that we can support what we have. I think there's more opportunity to support what currently exists. And I'll speak about Opera Louisiana, but there are many, many other organizations. The Arts Council of Greater Baton Rouge, there's the ballet, there's the symphony. There's many, many opportunities for arts, supportive arts here in the community. And then to have an additional organization, I think it's just opportunity for collaboration, right? We're all in the same space supporting the quality of life here in our community. And I think our young people, our young, under 40 group is looking for multiple ways to have different activities to be able to support the quality of life in our community.
You're active with Opera Louisiana in particular.
I am, yes. So I'm currently chair of the board of Opera Louisiana.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you. This is my second year. My term ends this fiscal year, so I'll be sad to see it go, but happy to continue to support a phenomenal organization who I think our general director does a phenomenal job in supporting women in the arts and bringing people back who have ties and connections to the community and supporting their platform throughout the world in their productions.
And are you getting that impression, Paula, as you all try to grow, attract audiences and members and raise money?
Leanne with Opera Louisiana and I have performed together. Recently we were in a show at the Manship Theater. She sang, I sang, and she was the one who helped with a couple questions I had about starting a nonprofit. I have performed with them in opera. Yes, we are a member of the Arts Council of Greater Baton Rouge as well, and they have actually extended their arms to us to perform at this year's Ebb and Flow Festival.
Oh, that's
great. So we're
great.
very excited about that, and that's a free community event.
And there are so many, and I'm familiar with so many wonderful venues. And you have like Baton Rouge Community College, and LSU has theaters, right? And Manship is fabulous. And Baton Rouge High, if you can run out there, wonderful auditoriums. Because my son played music, so I've been around, and all the churches too, right? If you need a smaller venue,
schools like
and the audiences are always so eager, to lap up the wonderful performances that they're seeing. I find that the challenge is in the money raising, the fundraising, the development end. And I'm sure you know that, Monique.
That's always a challenge, and we're very thankful for our loyal supporters of Opera Louisiane. People tend to support around the types of performances, the types of productions. There are many, many Gershwin supporters out there and what have you. And so depending on your production for the year, that's an opportunity to expand your patrons. And so don't be afraid to ask. People are definitely willing to support the arts. They're willing to support female-owned businesses. Female entrepreneurship is a big buzz in the community. So, and again, collaboration is key. Renee is a phenomenal
I think
resource.
so. She's really good about that too, trying to connect the dots. So let's talk a little bit about the whole female angle, and the women. I mean, do you find that that's helping y'all, Paula? And I mean, where we are today with respect to this Me Too movement, I mean, do you all feel a change maybe in the past 5 years in this community, especially, which tends to be a little behind the times and a little more conservative?
I have found there to be so many women just coming to us, coming to our performances, or just meeting us excited about what we were doing, whether they're interested in theater at all. They're just excited that women want to share women's stories, because the stories we're interested in, they're really just about, the wives, your neighbors, your daughters, your nieces. I have to reiterate sometimes to men that though we say that we are focused on women, we are about the wives that you deal, the patrons, the people that you go to their stores. We're everywhere. And so I think that it's just an old mindset. A lot of people don't realize when they see a movie and there's just almost all men and hardly any women in it. When you say that, when you switch that over and you say, hey, we would like to have this play, it has only 2 male parts but about 10 women in it, and some men are like, oh, well, I'm not going to go see that. I'm like, well, women, we watch these movies. We don't stop watching a movie that has basically an almost complete cast of men because we like the story. It's about the story and the characters, and we know some of those men, we don't, and we're interested in their stories. So what's the difference?
Right.
One of the things I've seen now, women are more in tune to the value of what we provide. We have always been, like you said, supportive and in the background making things happen and not necessarily celebrated for that. But now I consider it the year of the woman, the decade of the woman, because women are truly valuing what they bring to the table.
What about in the business community, Monique, where you have considerable experience?
There are more and more female entrepreneurs that are launching businesses that were sometimes called side hustles. I do this when when I have time, and it hasn't been a primary focus, but they are making those opportunities primary focus and providing a lot of energy in them to excel.
That's great. Have you, just dealing here in Baton Rouge, have you encountered that old boys network, whether it was to get a loan or to try to get investors into your franchise or to get a contract or whatever?
There's definitely many times when we show up for an RFP meeting or what have you, there are many, many men at the table. 10 years ago, there may have been 5 businesses at the table. 4 of them were men, 1 was a woman, but now there may be 30 businesses at the table, and several of them are women, a good 20-25%. So yes, I would like to see more, but I'm happy to see that companies, female-owned companies, are at the table and willing to take a leap to prepare the bigger proposals, so large accounts.
Interesting. Have you considered expanding beyond Baton Rouge, your Jani King franchise, or just in general?
Most recently, I've looked at 2 different opportunities, actually. There's some business in Lafayette, and there's a regional office in Lafayette, and so I could purchase a franchise to offer business there. But there's also opportunities. The way Jani King is structured, there's what's called a master franchisor who purchases the rights to sell franchises in a city. And there's a couple of cities that are out there that I'm considering. Okay. That's still a low-cost investment, but then I would have the opportunity to build and develop that city. And so there's new things on the radar, on the horizon.
What is the growth plan for Red Magnolia, Paula?
Well, Like I said, we are all working full-time, the founders, and so we have our families, and we don't want to take away from our time with our families. So there's this balancing act going on. We now have a board supporting us, and we are growing. So we have added the Reader Series. We had our first reading not long ago it was a dinner, and it was very successful. So we are looking forward to having about 4 to 5 Reader Series events a year, and then one play this year. We just started.
But there will be men in the play.
There will be men. We have one of them, Motherhood Out Loud, requires 2 men. So we will have plays that involve men as well. We're going to have open auditions for that, and anyone who is interested is welcome to come out. Even if anyone who is interested and has never performed in theater, it is a reading. So we will be reading it in public, and it does require a little bit of acting, but it's basically we want people to hear these stories. So just as you do with the radio, talk to people. We want people to listen. So we wanted to grow organically. So our board will most likely grow by several people in the next year or so. We are currently working on becoming a 501c3 federally. We are a nonprofit with the state and are acting as one, but we are in the midst of our bylaws. So we're very brand new as a young baby organization. So into 3 to 5 years, I would love to have this be my full-time job and have our own brick and mortar theater. But for now, this is the way it is, and we're going with the needs of the community. So if it grows naturally, then we will go with the flow.
That's great. Well, Paula Shreve and Monique Scott Spaulding, it's always great to have women executives and entrepreneurs and innovators together over lunch on this show to talk about their perspective about what their businesses are doing and also about what Baton Rouge can do to become more open and friendly to female business owners. And you might think this is something we wouldn't have to talk about in 2019, but it is still very relevant today. So thank you both for being here today on Out to Lunch, and good luck with your continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My guests today on Out to Lunch have been Monique Scott Spaulding of Jani King of Baton Rouge and Paula Shreve of the Red Magnolia Theater Company. You can find out more about Jani King of Baton Rouge and the Red Magnolia Theater Company by going to our website, itsbatonrouge.la. The producer of our show is Grant Morris. Our technical producer is Eric Merle. Our associate producer is Peter Raschuti. And our Baton Rouge business consultants are Charlie D'Agostino, Dave Winwood, and Adam Edelman. If you want to know what we all look like, you can find photos from this show on our website, itsbatonrouge.la, and on our It's Baton Rouge Facebook page. You can hear this show and past episodes of Out to Lunch wherever you get podcasts, including Spotify and at itsbatonrouge.la. Out to Lunch is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsbatonrouge.la and WRKF 89.3 FM. I'm Stephanie Riegel. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to meeting you again next week around the table here at Mansur's for more business Baton Rouge style on Out to Lunch.
Out to Lunch Baton Rouge is recorded live over lunch at Mansur's on the Boulevard in Baton Rouge. Mansur's is open for lunch daily 11 to 2, for dinner nightly, and for brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. Mitchell Foreman wrote and performs all the music on Out to Lunch. You can hear Mitchell's music anywhere great jazz is sold or streamed, and at mitchellforeman.com. Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker, established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys in offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com, and by the Alliance Safety Council, delivering instructor-led on-site computer lab and online training through more than 100 authorized training providers in 31 states and 2 countries. Headquartered in Baton Rouge, Alliance is focused on the future of learning technology and training process innovation for business and industry, for safety and other corporate training needs. More information is at alliancesafetycouncil.org, and by Short & Associates, legal recruiters in Louisiana and Texas, and Orange Theory Fitness, delivering fitness results for a healthier world.